Okay, so welcome everybody. This is a demonstration about how to make tags for your folio board. So first of all, I'm just going to show you what that looks like on the folio board. So this is a folio board made last year, and you can see in this area that we've got a pattern and then a landscape, and then we've just got a pattern in the sky of the landscape. So that's probably the most straightforward kind of version of that idea. You can see that down here the student has enlarged the pattern and included it in their painting, and that's a really nice successful job. Over here, this one, we've got the pattern again first, and then a little beautiful Chinese style landscape, and then she's placed the landscape inside the pattern. So she's used it slightly differently. She's used her pattern as a framing device. There's absolutely no restrictions as to how you do this one. This one is the one where you choose how you combine your pattern and your landscape. Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh? So this year we're going to do it slightly differently. What we're going to do is we're going to print the first one, okay? So I'm just going to draw your attention over there to the screen, okay? So what I've done, because of having some Māori ancestry and a lot of my relations having come from up north, I've decided that it would be nice to have kōwhaiwhai pattern. So I've just popped kōwhaiwhai into the Google search. But what I want to do is I want to get a good result. So I'm going to go down to Tools. That's if my mouse behaves itself. Tools. And then I'm going to go to, where are my tools? Where's it gone?
It's right there.
I know, but there should be some other options. Yeah.
You don't even know what Agnes is. There you go, they're going to listen.
Oh, sorry. Obviously go to images first, right? Images, and then tools, right? And then here where it says type, what you want is, you might want to go to line drawing, and that will make your pattern really, really simple and just black and white, okay? Or you can just go back to any type, but the main one I want to show you is size, because what we want is a large file, okay? We want a nice large file, so that when we print it, it comes out good quality. Okay, so here's lots of large files. Now, if you just look at this one, it's got little faint writing on it, stock, and that will actually come out when you print it. So you want to find an image that hasn't got that iStock thing written on it. Let's try this one. So even that one's got it too. So I managed to find one that didn't have that, and was fairly high res. See how this one's fuzzy? That one's not going to work so well. Anyway, if we just bring our attention back to here, okay. So here's one thing that I printed off. Here are the other ones. Okay, can you see how that's all pixelated? So we don't want that, so that's what you will get if you don't choose large file, okay? So you want to choose a large file, and then you'll get something like this, okay? Now this one printed off quite crispy and nice, but you can see that it's got this weird checkerboard thing in the background, but I reckon I'll be able to just paint that out, okay? So you're going to get something like that. Now you can choose if you want it in colour, or you might want to get a black and white one. I'm actually going to go for a black and white one because I want it to match my tag. And what you're going to do is you will line it up with your tag, probably draw around it, and cut that out to the right size. And what I'm going to do is show you how to age it. So we're looking at the past, you know, we went to the museum and we looked at all the memorials about all the old soldiers that died, and we looked at how the old clothes people used to wear in the olden days, and hopefully some of you thought about your ancestors and thought about, you know, those people that came over to New Zealand maybe 6, 7 generations, maybe 20 generations, maybe even just this generation. Maybe your parents were born in a different country. Maybe you were born in a different country. Okay, so we're all travellers to some degree. Okay, so I'm making that match my little tag. Might just nip off the ends there. And then what I'm going to do to age it, to make it look a bit kind of vintage, is I'm going to crush it up. Okay, I'm going to crush it up, squish it quite a lot. I'm going to put PVA glue on here. And with the PVA glue, you want to be quite generous with it and bring it right to the edges, because it looks a bit yucky if you have little flaps of paper sticking out. So you'll stick that down, bring the glue right to the edges, have quite a lot of it all around. It actually just works really well to use your fingers, even though your fingers end up covered in glue. Give your fingers a bit of a wipe on some scrap paper. Okay, and then you want to undo your scrunched up thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dye it. I'm going to put dye on it, but I also could add a little bit of paint. So straight away it's already got these sort of crinkly kind of bits on it. So I'm going to squish that down onto my tag. I like to stretch it a little bit to make it fit. Why do you think we're using tags? What are these things for? To label stuff. You could put it on a piece of luggage. It's actually also what, you know, gets tied to the end, to the toe of a body when it goes into the morgue. Doesn't that says? Yeah, I know. But they're used for lots of things, okay? But it is a label. That's the thing I want you to think about, because when you're in the museum, did you notice labels? There were labels everywhere. Okay, so we're labeling things. All right. So now that I've got my aged kind of like whole little kawhaiwhai pattern, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to dye it. Just going to put some dye on it. Now I probably should use a brush for this. Let me just grab my brushes. It's going to be quite a long movie, I think. Okay, I'm just going to rub it in. I might just pop it over here. And what's going to happen is that where the paper has been crumpled up, it's now going to absorb that browny colour. So I'm going to have little bits of that brown going into the black there. Okay. And depending on your colour scheme, you can choose different colours, but try not to do anything too bright. I'm going to have it fairly sort of soft. Probably you would then need a rag just to sort of dampen it off, but I might just use this bit of paper. And you can almost rub it a little bit. When you put water on paper, it destroys the integrity of the paper and it makes it easier to age it. So I'm rubbing it a little bit just on purpose to age it. Okay, so I've got a lovely sort of thing now that looks a bit like it's out of the museum. So it looks really old, doesn't it? And other ways that you can make it look older is when it's dry, you could have it go lightly sandpapering it. You could even burn the side of it, put a little burn mark on it, something like that. Okay, so that's my tag. Now this is my version that I've done with paint, and you could choose to do that if you wanted. And literally all I've done here is I've just blended my background from brown down through to ochre. I've traced the pattern on using carbon paper, and then I've blocked in this green background, probably about 2 or 3 coats of paint on that background. Okay. So the next step is to show you how to do the landscape. Okay, maybe stop that now. Yeah.